How's it going, guys? Neighbor time. There we are back, and we're talking about a very majestic beast. In other words, this fucker of a country I'm living in. We have a lot of load shedding. It's gotten worse lately. So I was just talking about why we have load shedding, what it actually is, and then we watched a video that the BBC did 3 months ago on why our lights are turning off. And yeah, pretty informative. There's a few things I don't know, a few jokes. If well, it was funny for me because I'm living in this country, so you might not laugh, but me that experienced this, it's very very funny hearing these people say these things and stuff. So yeah, just enjoy it. If you do end up enjoying, do like, subscribe, share, notify yourself, and upload my brilliant content by clicking the notification bell. By the way, there's not a political ad or anything. Do what you want. I don't care. I'm just taking the piss out of my country because it's fucked. It's just how it is. If you do, just spread Neptune word. Send this to your fellow South Africans. Dear fellow South Africans, we are fucked. And if you, just enjoy, just remember to eat that sub. Yeah, let's get monetized. Cool. Cheers. Alright, this is not a video I planned on making today. I was planning on making another gaming video, but I had a task, I completed it, and as I completed it, the power went off. So, well, it technically went off before that, but it just came back on. And I do not feel like playing a game for today. I'm going to play a game tonight to make ready for tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm working and stuff. But yeah, basically, I'm fucked. Where we live right now, we are at like stage 5 load shedding or something. They said they started, which basically means 4 hours at a time there's no power. Now I already told everybody, and probably everyone knows this, that this country is fucked thanks to the people running it right now. But I am gonna try and explain why we have load shedding. So our electricity infrastructure is mostly it just consists out of Eskom. Eskom is like uh, I think it was an individual company that made a contract with the government to supply South Africa, and the contract states they can be the only company that supplies the electricity. Although they fucking don't for 4 hours out of the day, actually more. And sometimes we get struck twice or 3 times. So yeah, it's a fucking lot of hours that they don't supply electricity for their main fucking job, isn't it? So that's the whole first problem, and the thing is, the infrastructure that Eskom has can't supply enough electricity for the demand, because our country is very very weird. It's take they take people that are living in, like, we call them townships. Oh, oops. Oh, what just happened? All right, where was I? Sorry, I pressed the wrong button or something. I'm gonna cut all of that out in front of that. But yeah, basically, I think I said something about we don't have the supply for the demand, because in South Africa, what they do is they don't take like theft of electricity seriously. So if you walk in townships and stuff, they are basically stealing electricity illegally. So they have like wires they tie shoes to, and they just chuck it over the wires to steal the electricity, which is not safe. Townships are very dangerous, especially for small children wanting to play, and if it rains and stuff like that. There are a lot of deaths thanks to what they're doing. But there's also like other parts in South Africa where they just supply free electricity to the people. They don't ask money or anything. They just think that it's right, which I don't think so. Everyone struggles, everyone works for their money, so I feel like everyone should pay, and if you can't pay, you shouldn't have that privilege, and if you try and steal it, you should go to jail. It's like how a country is supposed to work, but ours just doesn't. So that's also one of the main reasons. It's just they're giving electricity away for free, and some of these areas don't even have load shedding. The ones that they're supplying for free, they're the ones not having load shedding, which is pretty fucked up. But there's nothing I can do about it, or anyone else in South Africa. We can't just start up a new electricity company because it's against the law in South Africa. And also, while all of the years went on after apartheid ended and the ANC gradually took over, I think new people came into power in Eskom, and they start stealing all the money that they were making, and they weren't using it to repair the infrastructure and keep it up to date the whole time. So we have a lot of plants that are just failing, and that's also what's happening. So it's failing, so we have to shift to more hours a day that we don't have electricity, because we are losing gradually more and more plants. So it means we're going to have to add more and more hours to days without, to hours without electricity. And the way South Africa works is like a huge grid system, and they can't supply electricity to all the grids, so only a specific amount of grids are on at a time, and you shift the whole time like that. So that's basically what's happening here. But we're gonna watch the BBC, and this is called "Why Lights Are Going Out in South Africa." This is, I don't know if it's an old one. I just wanted to watch it because I wanted to talk about this shit because it's fucking annoying. 3 months ago. Yeah, load shedding has been a long time. It's not just been 3 months since it's been here, but yeah, we all adapt and we have to overcome the shit that happens in your country. Some countries have war, some countries don't have water, and we just struggle with electricity and water. I'm just joking. We have water, thankfully. I would have been pissed if my country didn't have water or electricity. So yeah, let's just hear what they have to say, I guess. But that's the whole scenario. Well, basically, what's happening in South Africa. So be lenient if I miss like uploads and stuff, because I really do want to upload. I just the time frame. As I also have to have in mind my work that I have to do. So I have to do the work when the electricity is on, because all of it's already on the computer. So at the moment, the work, because it's actually something I pay for, does take priority over the YouTube. So I am very, very sorry if my videos are like not coming out when you expect them to. I am trying to keep on 2 a day. I promise, it's not my fault. It's the country. Blame South Africa, alright? Call the government, tell them you want to talk to Uncle Cyril, and just tell him to get his shit in order, I guess. So let's just hear what they have to say. See if they're correct. I don't know if they are, and don't watch the news. But this is going to be a first for all of us. Let's see it.
South Africa is one of Africa's richest countries, but it can't keep the lights on. Power cuts are affecting
the thing is, you can't be...
the roads, at work.
Why doesn't this thing pause? Okay, there we go. You can be one of the richest countries in Africa, but it's that like wealth doesn't count when it's being stolen by the people running it. Because it doesn't go back into the country. That's why the country is going to get fucked soon. But some people are going to come out of it wealthy, so good for them, I guess.
2, and it's taking its toll.
9 hours, 10 hours of no electricity as it rotates around the country.
He's South
It's really
Africa.
very
He's
devastating
South
to the
African.
country to have, electricity
100%.
turned off.
It may be devastating, but it's not a surprise.
Well,
No,
this
it's
is
not.
a disaster of South Africa's own making, because there were calls, there were warnings from many years ago, not even just 20 years, but dating back.
But the warnings weren't heeded. And
It's not South Africa's, more the government's. We, as South Africans, all of us don't control the electricity. So most of us actually use it very, like, sparingly, because we know if we spare it more, we might have less hours taken away out of the day without electricity. So that's why we work like that. But yeah, it's the government and Eskom. Eskom and the government are like this, and it's both their faults. That's why I don't think, even if we vote in a new government party, maybe the DA, yes, maybe someone like that actually work, because they have like a community that they take care of in the Western Cape, Mossel Bay, which is thriving. It's actually very little load shedding shortages. Streets are very nice. It actually looks like a proper like a country. So they do have a movement where they want to get split up from the rest of South Africa and become their own like country, which I would back 100%. That's a really nice place to live, and if they don't want it to get fucked up, they should definitely do that. But yeah, definitely not not the South Africans' fault. You can say the government's. it's the government in Eskom. Mismanagement. They don't know how to run countries.
last year, there were planned power cuts on 205 days.
Mm-hmm.
This year, it's already 129. That's every single day except 2. And these power cuts can last for hours.
Yeah.
They're needed because the system can't meet demand.
Mm-hmm.
Without
Exactly.
them, the whole system could collapse.
Yeah, it could fail.
Would experience a week without any electricity at all. And that's going to affect things like communications. It's like an enforced national shutdown.
This hasn't happened yet.
Oh yeah.
Regu-
When last time our power was off for a week, it wasn't Eskom actually. It was the local people that like run the substations and shit. When they had to turn off the house, they don't know how to read the breakers to see which house is which. So they just ripped out a few, and one was ours. So they broke our breaker basically. Why? I mean, these people don't even know how to work the boxes, and they're just getting the jobs. I don't understand that. But yeah, it was actually hilarious. I started laughing and I was furious at the time. But now that I think back at it, it's hilarious how stupid people can get jobs.
Nuclear power cuts are now part of life.
Yeah.
To explain why, we need to look at South Africa's coal-fired power stations. They account for 86% of the electricity
These things, some of them are falling into each other and stuff because they're not being upheld. So
it produces.
these big ass chimneys.
But they're struggling to keep up. The state power utility Eskom admits they're unreliable. One consultancy says they're run exceptionally hard and under-maintained.
It's not good when the like company that supplies power to you is just like, no, we're unreliable, bro. Then make changes, get some other people in. This country is run by fucking idiots.
For the last 29 of them, the African National Congress, the ANC, has been in power.
Yeah.
In 1999, Thabo Mbeki succeeded Nelson Mandela as president. 9 years later, he admitted, when Eskom said to the government, we think we must invest more in terms of electricity generation, we said no.
We said no, we want to steal more money. We want the money. We want to build Nkandla. Fucking idiots. I know it wasn't Thabo Mbeki that did that. I know it was Zuma, but I think he was after Thabo Mbeki. And since he could take all that money, I assume that the other people that lived wealthy, the previous presidents, also took money. So it's not just Zuma's fault.
We were wrong. Eskom was right. Or as the broadcaster Reddy Huddy puts it,
Eskom anticipated, they projected, they knew that South Africa would run out of energy unless it made the necessary investments. The government ignored
got a lot of filler in those
2007,
lips.
though, after years of warnings, the
unnatural.
government did act. Construction began on 2 enormous coal power stations. But this hasn't gone to plan.
Ultimately, the design turned out to be a flop. Not only did they turn out to cost more than double of what
There's a lot of stuff like this in South Africa. The people here that get the jobs are not qualified. I'm almost 100% sure of it. We have like bridges in Joburg that they miscalculated like the turn and the heights of the bridge. So it just stands there because it doesn't connect to the other road. Even if they continue building it, it will go like past each other. That's the type of stuff we have in South Africa. That's why all the qualified people are leaving, because they're actually being able to build stuff, and people actually overseas want that. They want quality. Here in South Africa, they're just like, you're first, come.
they were projected initially. They also took roughly double as long to actually be built.
The ANC has sought to distance itself from the process. It said of one contract, the ANC has not participated in the said transaction. Wherever the blame lies, after 16 years, these power stations are not at capacity. Last year, the Kusile plant had to be partially shut down after a chimney collapsed. In 2021, an explosion at the Medupi plant damaged the generator. Work goes on at both to fix the problems. And the overall challenge of electricity production connects to something else too: corruption. There were new
There we go.
allegations earlier this year. The source was Andre de Ruyter, who until February was CEO of Eskom.
Oh,
According to
he's
South
also
Africa's News 24,
corrupted
Mr.
then.
de Ruyter is now believed to be staying in Germany. He left South Africa earlier this year after he'd given an interview. And in it, he claimed at least 4 organised crime cartels are operating in Eskom, and that someone has
I did not know that.
in an attempted murder. The BBC can't verify
Holy
that
shit.
claim.
Our country is
Mr.
even more
Reuter
fucked than I
went on.
thought.
My rough estimate of the amount of money that gets stolen in Eskom every month.
Every month, Eskom is a $1 billion company, well, it's supposed to be. Rough estimate stolen 200 mil, let's say 200 mil rand. That's it.
Is in the region of R1 billion.
Jesus. I was way off. R1 billion is almost like $100 million. So I was almost correct if I just said dollars. Holy shit.
Every month.
R1 billion rand is
every
about
month.
$55 million.
Yeah.
$55 million a month. And this is the BBC's Nomsa Maseka on a conversation that Mr. de Ruyter alleges that he had.
When he questioned
Holy shit.
the powers that be, particularly from the governing party,
Mhm.
he was told, allow the comrades to eat.
In its response to Andre de Ruyter, the ANC said it rejected his unfortunate, irresponsible and baseless claims of alleged political meddling and corruption at the embattled power utility.
How can you... you can't reject it. It's everywhere. You can see it. Just come to South Africa. South Africa at this stage is just like a clown show. If you really like hate your life and you have a lot of money and you want to laugh at people, just come to South Africa. There's like shit happening every day. The news is basically a comedy centre but right now. It's this country is not going to last very much longer.
It says allegations about the ANC are false and
Oh
is
my
suing
soul.
him for defamation. It adds, we will challenge him for saying our party is corrupt and failing to prove how.
But it's... How can you say it's not true when there's physically evidence that people that ran your parties in the past and in the present is corrupt and stealing shit, like money? You can't just go like, nah, I'm going to sue you. Don't put a Logan Paul on yourself. You can't sue people just because they're right. It's so fucking stupid.
Ruyter isn't alone in connecting the power cuts to allegations of malpractice.
Money was set aside, billions, to give to the power utility, to invest in new coal stations, generating power capacity, bringing in expertise, and so on. It is that money.
I'm pretty sure like a year or two ago, the United States paid off like all United States, not states, sorry, paid off like all the debt South Africa had or something like that to help us like get on path again, and that went to shit like a month after we already were in debt. So yeah, it's just the corruption is way worse in South Africa than any other country, I believe, or the people in other countries just do it gradually. South Africans just don't give a shit. They just like hops as many as they can and just keep doing it until they're caught, I guess.
Money that was looted and stolen under corruption.
And corruption has been documented by a vast judicial inquiry. Last year it found 14.7 billion rand of Eskom's contracts calculated to have been afflicted by state capture. In other words, by corruption. That's more than $900
Oh
million,
my soul.
much of it looted during the 2010s, when Jacob Zuma was president.
The thing is, I don't know how we just kept having this guy that couldn't speak as a president. Like, I know he can speak all the other languages, like probably Tswana, Zulu, and stuff like that. He was a Zulu, I believe. But I mean, English is like a fairly universal language, and if you want to run a country, you need to at least speak it, you know, so you can communicate with other leaders. He just didn't give a fuck. He couldn't even do numbers. It's just...
was denied corruption allegations. But more broadly, this inquiry captured the extent of corruption in South Africa. And that's why the power cuts are about much more than electricity.
Yeah.
So the power crisis in this country is one small example of the true picture of what South Africa is currently going through, be it corruption, be it crime, be it mismanagement.
South Africa's current president, Cyril Ramaphosa, has talked of his commitment to fighting corruption.
He has this fucking... The thing is, I don't know if he's corrupt. It will probably come out in later years. Let's say he's not. What's he doing? He's still doing nothing. The country is still spiraling out of control at the same rate it did before he stepped in. You can't say, oh, I'm against corruption, and then maybe there's no corruption, but the country is still going backwards. We're literally de-evolving in this country. We are going to lose electricity. We're going to have to go back to candles before anyone else in the world. And that's just how it is. You just have to accept it. This country is fucked beyond repair.
Is long-term work, as is addressing South Africa's power capacity and reducing its reliance on coal. But right now, the power cuts are happening, and they're coming at a cost.
Because of the electricity shortage in particular, the rate of economic growth is often close to 1%, sometimes less than 1%, and is actually less than our population growth rate.
As all of this plays out, South Africa heads into what the government calls an exceptionally difficult winter, and it's reiterated its determination to get to grips with the crisis. But on power cuts, or load shedding as it's called, there have been promises before.
There will never be load shedding again.
That's not what happened. And this illustrates why, to some commentators, this is a story of long-term political failure.
The problem here is a lack of leadership and short-sightedness where political expediency.
Yeah, the thing is, they don't. If you want to steal money, let's say, I'm not gonna say don't be corrupt because that's not gonna fucking happen in this country. Everyone's a little bit corrupt in this country. Even let's say with the police, a lot of people bribe the police and shit. It's not the police that's corrupted. It's just everyone is. Now, if you want to steal a lot of money, just do it gradually over the years. Instead of stealing $55 million every month, make it 10, $25 million. It's still a lot of money. Just do stuff like that. Just take it down a notch. Don't just be so obvious about it.
Was put above the well-being of the nation, and that's why the economy and the people of South Africa are paying such a heavy price.
Yeah, to be frank though, we're all sitting here saying, oh, how could they do that? If you're in the same position, would you? Probably. I'm not gonna lie. If I was in a position where I could steal $55 million a month, I would. I would do it for like 2 years and then I'll just go to another country and enjoy the rest of my life. And everyone's gonna look at me and go like, oh, you can't say that. You can't say that you're gonna be that corrupt. You would too. Just, I'm honest about it. If you were in that position, you would probably as well do the same. So you can't blame them. They're just looking out for number
the
one.
ANC would deny its interests are anything other than South Africa's, but it doesn't deny the severity of the moment.
The energy crisis is an existential threat to our economy and to
We at
the
least
social
upgraded to
fabric
one
of
that
our
can
country.
talk now, a
And
president.
so, while this is a story specific to South Africa, there's a broader lesson here that systems do have breaking points, moments when the state can no longer provide for the people it serves, moments that are almost always years in the making.
Oh, the first day
What the
that
fuck is this? I don't know. This is gonna be the outros. I don't care. Yeah, the funny thing is the ANC was also trained by the Russian USSR before they took over South Africa. So do with that information what you will. Any case, if you guys end up enjoying me just talking about how South Africa is fucked beyond repair, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, share, notify yourself, and upload my brilliant content by clicking the notification bell. And hopefully, you guys just enjoy. I was just talking about my country state and how it's probably gonna fail in the next few years. I'm not a very optimistic guy. I'm a realist, like I always say. I can tell shit as it is, and it's fucked. That's how it is. It's just how it is. I know I'm swearing a lot. I am trying to bring it down a bit to be more family friendly to you guys, but you can't say the country is just broken beyond repair because it's not broken. It's fucked. It's just how it is. So yeah. Any case, hopefully you guys enjoy. If you did end up enjoying, you know what, do like, subscribe, share. I already said that. Just spread the Neptune word. If you're a fellow South African, hit the dislike button to show how much you hate South Africa. Let's make this the most disliked video on the internet because I don't give a shit about likes or dislikes. Any case, hopefully you guys join. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers!